Hey everybody, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do an anatomical study of a head. Now the reason to do this kind of a study is to start to get a sense of the three-dimensional nature of the face. Because whenever you draw a portrait, it's important to get a sense of not just the surface of the face, but also the fact that it's a 3D object in space, right? So with this, what I start by doing is just plotting out sort of like a very light sketch of where the features are. And as we go, you'll notice that it's going to get more and more three-dimensional looking. So how do I accomplish that? So first of all, you'll notice that one thing that these guidelines are doing is they're helping to show the fact that it's 3D, right? That there's different planes of the face, like where the forehead is one plane, and then the side of the head is another plane. And you notice here, like the more that I break up that space and add these guidelines, the more 3D that it gets. And I can show more of the areas that advance and then the other areas that recede. So for example, the chin there advances a bit, which is why it's curved, but then there's other areas like behind the eyes that are going to recede more. And so here you'll notice what I'm doing around the eyes is I'm drawing lines between the eye socket and around where the top of the eyebrows would go. And then I'm also drawing lines that go over the bridge of the nose. So you might be wondering why I'm doing that. And the reason for that is that it helps map the contours of the form. And so what you can do is sort of think about as if you're wrapping something with lines, or like imagine you could like be tracing your finger over the planes. And I used to actually do that when I would teach drawing in class. I would have students actually like, it sounds a little bit weird, but touch your nose and notice that it's on a different plane than say your forehead or your chin, and that the recesses of your eyes are on another plane. And so that starts to help understand that you have to think about the different planes for your drawing, because otherwise the face will look really flat. So if you've ever had a portrait that you've drawn and it's looked really flat, let me know in the comments and let me know if you've ever done this kind of a drawing. And if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like the video. Okay, so now we're just going around the ear. And as I am doing this kind of drawing, what I'm doing more and more is sort of articulating the form. So I start with a really rough sketch, like the ear is sort of ill-defined. And then as I'm going over it. And so same thing with the eyes. And you can do this where you can start with really general shapes and then sort of like make it a little bit more specific as you go. You can see here I'm adding an oval, which shows the jaw area. And now I'm going to add upward curving lines to show the lips. Now what that does is it gives the lips more dimension already. And if you add a bit of a shadow under the lips too, you'll see that that makes the bottom lip kind of like pop out a little bit more. And so when you think about it, when you have light kind of hitting the lips, it's the bottom lip that is usually more lit. And then the top lip is usually a little bit more in shadow. And so this whole type of drawing is quite similar to cross contour. And so if you haven't done any cross contour and this concept is totally new to you, I recommend checking out my cross contour playlist, and I'll link that in the description for you. Because what cross contour does, similar to this, is it gets you to start thinking about direction of the form and how you can use lines to shape the form. So the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing some more portrait study tutorials. So let me know in the comments, what are the major things that you struggle with when you're doing portraits? Okay, so now what I'm doing is the area between the nose and the mouth. And so notice that I'm putting the lines going over one area, and then you have that divot in between the nose and the mouth, right? And that the lines are going in the other direction to kind of show that that area is sort of like concave. And so if you practice something like this, one thing I'm also trying to do is have my lines be pretty confident. So a lot of times when people start drawing, and this is with charcoal, is their lines are very kind of scratchy and like sort of nervous, like they're like these little hatchy marks. And so with this, it actually works better if you have sort of like bigger sweeps of lines. So try that kind of line quality where in one shot you're going from like one point to the other. And even in a couple areas, you notice I have like a little point, and I'm sort of trying to like actually sweep my line all the way around in those areas. It'll just look a little bit better if you do it that way. And it'll actually make it look more 3D. So last thing, I'm darkening up the area around the eyes a bit more. And that's like the eye socket. So that should be dark because that recedes into the space. And then the other areas like the nose advances. So again, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Let me know what you thought of this video and if you'd like to see more content on portraits and faces and things like that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.